Hive Virtual Edition. My name is Lori. Has your child come home with a notice that it's Pink Shirt Day coming up and you don't have a pink shirt? We've got you covered. Whether it's pink shirt, blue shirt, green shirt, you can make a shirt for your child's special colored shirt day in 24 hours with ingredients you have at home. This is all you'll need. White vinegar, rubber gloves, food coloring, elastic bands, a bowl. You'll need a squeezable bottle with a hole in the top. I've seen people use water bottles by poking a hole in the lid. I've also got a nail polish remover bottle here that works just great with a hole popped in the middle. You can use old, discolored, or stained shirts to make this an even more economical project. Step 1 is to put 4 parts vinegar to 1 part water into a bowl. Make sure you have enough liquid to generously soak the shirt. Once you're sure that the shirt is completely saturated in the vinegar and water mixture, wring it out. Very, very well. You want it to seem just damp when you're finished. Lay your shirt out flat on a nice, smooth, hard surface. Choose the place that you would like to be the center of your tie-dye. I'm going to go up here. Squeeze both layers of the fabric with your fingers and begin to twist. And while you're twisting, you're going to want to help these folds to happen. And keep them spinning. Trying to keep them nicely folding in. And it doesn't have to be exact, obviously. It's tie-dye, and blotches and bursts of color are really quite welcome. To make a t-shirt, to purchase a t-shirt like this that is tie-dyed would probably cost in the range of $30-something because tie-dye is very popular right now. Once you try this, you'll see that you can tie-dye any garment you wish, and particularly white clothing that is stained or discolored. It's a great way to refashion some of your clothing. So you're going to get it all into a nice circle. Remember, there is no mistakes in tie-dye. Whatever results is the way it was supposed to be. We're going to start with this project using just one color, but you can experiment with different colors as well. We're just going to focus on the colored shirt that a child or an adult might need for a special school day. Take your elastic bands and we're going to put it around the cloth. We're going to use 3 of them. That is the most difficult part of this project done. Another strategy to use is to take a fork and begin twisting with it. And that works really well to get all of your spirals as well. To mix your colors, simply fill a container with some water and add food coloring to get the color that you like. My advice is the bolder, the better. I have seen and made one myself that was very, very light in color. And so now I start to add more food coloring rather than less to get a more bold color. This is where you have to be wearing gloves or your fingers will be the color of your shirt for days. This is an old acrylic paint container from the dollar store, and I find it works perfectly for this purpose. I've seen people use water bottles by simply poking a hole in the top of the cap. This is an old nail polish remover bottle, plastic as well, with a hole poked in the top, which would work just as well. Give it a good shake to see if it's a color that you think is bold enough. I think this will do. Place your shirt into a container that is for the crafts or you're not worried about it. Now this does wipe out very nicely, so I'm really not worried about it. And then you're going to take your ink and simply squeeze it all over. The first few times I did this, I tried to make some sort of strategic pattern on the coil, and I determined that it pretty much turns out the same no matter how you put your dye on. So I want to dye right into the center as well. We're going to pick it up, flip it over, and do the same on this side. You want to get it over the edges as well so that they too are covered. And you want to put lots of color in here because we want it to soak through the layers and through some of these folds. Obviously, some of the folds will stay white, but we want to get a lot of dye into the folds as well. After you've put the dye on, you'll get a plastic bag. It can be a grocery bag. They work well. Or I use a plastic Ziploc bag because it's really easy to seal and not get this dye on anything else. And pop it into the bag, seal it up, rinse out your container, and we're going to leave this for at least 8 hours. Overnight is fine, but 8 hours seems to work great as well. It's 12 hours later. We'll unwrap the shirt. Put it in the bucket. Add cold water. And salt. And ice cubes. Stir it around. Squeezing, trying to get as much of the color out as you can. This shirt is now ready to dry. These are the finished shirts using food coloring and vinegar. While the food coloring and vinegar worked in a pinch, if I were to do it again, I would use fabric dye from the dollar store. The fabric dye, I'm confident, will last longer in the laundry. And for $2 with the bolder colors and interesting patterns you can achieve, I'll be doing my future tie-dyeing using powder fabric dye.